I am not going to make a video trying to change the opinions of anyone. If you pro-jab, cool. If you anti-jab, that's cool. I believe at this point, everybody's decision is made up. Everyone has done their version of research to make up their minds as to whether they want to get the jab or not. I'm not going to waste time doing that. I would rather us talk about something else. The one thing that really does annoy me is that everybody is spewing around the science. I'm this, I'm that, the science of chemistry. But at the end of the day, most of the people that are dealing with the science of chemistry, they don't have an understanding of the science of life. Science of chemistry versus the science of life. Modern man has lost all touch with nature. That is where I have an issue. I believe that there are certain things that a few of us can agree on. Ultimately, that pure blood and abundant vitality are the ultimate protective measures of any person against any disease, regardless of where, what, when. It doesn't matter anything about whatever the particular disease is. Pure blood, abundant vitality. When the blood becomes overly saturated with cell waste, a safety valve must be open to release it of its pent-up toxins. That safety valve is called disease. Disease is what's going to release the pent-up waste in your river of light, also known as your bloodstream. So disease is something that also is used to keep you alive. But the problem is that the Western world is having this war on disease, which is going to be as successful as the war on drugs during Nixon's term. It's not going to work. We have to focus on vitality, wellness, and also underlying conditions. That should be where the focus is, because the majority of the people that are having adverse reactions to said jab, it is due to their underlying conditions. So forget the jab. Let's deal with the underlying conditions. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? Do you have a deficient immune system? Why don't we work on those things? Let's work on those things. Whether you are anti or pro, it doesn't matter. Let's work on your biological structure. Let's work on the science of life, because at the end of the day, disease evolves as a necessary consequence of the lagging function of your body. The organs of the body are inseparable. They are going to have wear and tear. That's something that I think we can all agree on. We all think that we could just live in contempt of the law of life and not incur disease. You think you can do whatever you want, and you are not going to have ramifications for the things that you are doing. And then we try to remedy these diseases with inorganic substances. And I also saw a video with a scientist who was pretty much clowning a sister that was trying to bring awareness to certain situations. I didn't even listen to the whole video. The moment I heard the scientists say that the body doesn't care whether it is fed synthetic or natural substances, I stopped listening to the video, because degrees and titles do not impress me. It never will, and it never has. I think a lot of us are getting caught up in people's titles and not really investigating what these people's true intentions are. We're not dealing with what's best for ourselves, our communities, and our families. We believe that we can live in contempt of laws of life and not incur disease. That is the ultimate problem. There are things that we expect as humans. We expect the sun to rise. We expect the sun to set. We expect to plant seeds and that things are going to grow flowers, vegetables, whatever it is. But we don't expect to incur disease when we are living in complete violation. Shall we not expect someone to have health that is precise to the ratio of how obedient they are when it comes to the laws of nature? The laws of nature are immutable and they are eternal. They cannot be broken or mended. It is what it is. There are certain things in life that you can pray for, and you can use your natural and spiritual abilities to get in this life and to manifest. But when it comes to the laws of nature are immutable and they are eternal. I think that we can all agree that preventative measures are certainly of far more value than remedial ones. Preventative measures. And yes, there are going to be some people that will say that kids are born a certain way, babies are born a certain way. But what we need to understand is some babies or some people are so weak from birth that they are not physically strong enough to resist the effects of common violations of the laws of life. You can only give a baby, you can only give a child, you can only give your germinal seed what you have. If your eggs are weak, if your sperm is weak, why are you going to expect to have a strong baby? Why would you expect that your baby is not going to have complications or not going to have a lowered immune system? You can only give what you get. Parents can transmit to their offsprings what they carry potentially in their germinal elements. But they do have control over their environmental elements, because we all know the part of science that is epigenetics. We know that our environment plays a huge role in the status of our health. Are you getting fresh air? Are you getting pure, clean water? Are you getting sunlight? Are you taking baths periodically? Are you having fresh fruits, fresh juices? Are you putting more life in your body, or are you putting more disease in your body? And I have an issue with people that are anti-vax too, because you have all this opposition to the jab, but you don't oppose things that create underlying conditions. Yes, everybody will have times where they'll drink. I drink like 5 times a year. I could count it. We all have our vices, but you over here making videos that's anti-jab, but at the same time, you drinking Hennessy every day, or maybe every single weekend. You're getting wasted, and you are taking things that's going to cause an underlying condition, which will make you dependent on something synthetic until you change your lifestyle. So even if you are anti-jab, are you anti-unnatural substances that can create all of these underlying diseases that are killing people? There is a Vayer system that you can look and see who reported having adverse effects to the jab, and you get a lot of decent detailed information on it, and you can see that a majority of these people had underlying conditions. So I'm not going to stress about who's going to take it and who's not, who's this, who's that. We have to deal with the underlying conditions. That is the main problem, because a majority of the diseases that people have are preventable and reversible if you decide to change your life. If you think that you're just going to pray away some disease, that life isn't that easy. It's not that simple. A majority of the diseases that people are facing is due to what they put in their mouth, and also what's not coming out the other end, because you're putting in so much. Some of you are overeating. You're not drinking enough water. You're not getting any fresh air. You're in a heavily polluted city. Do you leave the country? Or do you just stay where you're at? You need to take preventative measures. Do you have fruits daily? Do you drink at least half your body weight in water in ounces? Do you do any of that? But then I have questions for those who are pro-jab. How does disease spread from person to person until it comes to existence? How did the first case develop? How? If contact for infections or contagious diseases account for spread, why don't we all get the disease? If germs are as ubiquitous as God, infecting whoever, why don't all of us get it? Do we get immune by getting sick first? Is sickness the route to immunity? It is the condition of the individual that will tell you the character of the disease. Both sides are having issues here. You know my stance. But I have an issue with a lot of people that are over here. Like, stop making videos about this thing. Make your decision, and that's it.